Hi guys, it's Lisa Murphy, and today I am starting a new series here on the YouTube where I am going to, in real time, banter like this, respond to some of the common themes that I received in the over 3,000 comments that I received on various platforms after being a part of the Challenging Behavior online conference. And as much as I would love to sit there and type, my fingers started getting old. And I also know that some of those themes are applicable to many people who are watching. So this is a new series I'm going to start. I figured it would be a nice way just to get some other content. I've been kind of bombarding all of you with story time, porch time, which I know you're all appreciating. But this platform also exists for me to drop some nuggets in front of you in regard to thinking about your early childhood educational practice. So the theme, issue, thread, question, whatever you want to call it, that I want to kind of give you Lisa Murphy's position statement on today. And that's probably really what these are going to be, like little soapbox, what little nuggets, what would Lisa Murphy say about this particular topic. Today, what I'm going to unpack is, but I only have them for 3 hours. And so let's dive in here. If you only have children in your program for 3 hours, and people say, well, what's the ideal schedule? And ideally, the response is that you open the door, you say, good morning, come on in, and then they play for 3 hours. And maybe at some point during that time frame, snack would have been maybe made as an option, but wouldn't have been mandatory. Like nobody needed to stop playing to come eat, but maybe snack is available at a table. It's an invitation per se, right? It's kind of optional. And then they keep playing and then they go home. And I know when I tell people that sometimes they think that I'm kind of being snarky, and honestly, I'm not. I'm not. And honestly, the answer would be the same if you were in an 8-hour a day program. Now let me unpack that a little bit because I know some of you are new to me. I know in my heart, and I know from my own practice, that when the adults are setting up the environment with intention, it honestly does not matter where children stay, where they play, what they engage in, or how long they stay there, because the adult in the room is getting really, really, really good at translating the play, right? Interpreting the play, decoding the play, for the people who might walk in and be like, how come every time I walk in, they're just playing? You're right. Every time you walk in, it appears as though they're just playing. But you get better at starting to link the language that that person needs to what is actually unfolding. What happens all too often is that we stop what's going on in order to make somebody happy who really might not have any understanding of early childhood education, developmentally appropriate practice, child development. So I want all of this play to keep happening. The thing that might need to change is the adult's ability, willingness, confidence in being able to say, yes, when you walk in, it does look like he's in the block center every single time. Let's unpack what's going on over there. And if you are very, very familiar with the actual standards, not the ones you've made up in your head, but the actual expectations of the kids in this particular program or of your district or whatever, then you start specifically using that language. These are the expectations, and this is how, this is that. It's that. What is actually happening in the block center? Can you link that to cognitive development? Can you link that to language and literacy development? Can you link that to social emotional development? Can you link that to physical development? Of course you can. I mean, when in doubt, just call it science, right? For more on that, refer to my STEM rant from a year ago. But, I mean, gravity, you don't have to overthink it, right? They're stacking. That's fine motor skill development. They probably are noticing patterns. Somebody's probably getting a little frustrated because their tower keeps falling over. So I'm getting a little bit off track. I want to come back. So whether you have 3 hours for that to happen, or whether you're in a full day, all day program, which is mostly what my experience has been in, ideally, and I say that, I'm a realist. I know that y'all can't go do that. But how close to that can you start to get? And what's getting in the way? When and where and how did we drink the Kool-Aid of thinking somehow that kids need to be herded? We're all doing science. We're all doing art. Where did that come from? If I can translate the play into the language that the person who doesn't know any better needs, why would I still need to be interrupting children at play, whether I'm in a 90-minute program, a 3-hour program, or a 6-hour program? Now, and I'm trying to decide if I'm going to end this here or elaborate a little bit more. I'll elaborate a little bit more. Sometimes people who work in elementary school settings think that somehow that doesn't work for them. We're only a half-day kindergarten, and I got to get it. I get it. And I unpack this in the new book, and I'm not saying that as a shameless plug, but I walk you through it. The first 10 days of school, right? And take all of this right now with a grain of salt, because I know everybody's all over the map right now with like, are we reopening? Are we going back? When are we going back? Are we ever going back again? So just put all of that, if possible, on pause for a quick hot second. The next time you are starting a program, whatever that looks like, wherever that might be, kindergarten, toddler room, first grade, I would challenge you to allow the first maybe 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 maybe, but you won't need more than 3. You might only need 1, of allowing the kids to come in and recalibrate. Not even recalibrate, maybe just calibrate to this being what we do here. Blocks are here, writing is over here, there's puzzles over here, there's a sensory tub here, there's an easel, whatever is there, and this is what it looks like. And you can choose where you'd like to be, and you can stay there until you're finished. And when you're done, you can either stay there a little longer, you can find something else, but the children get used to this being the new normal. This is what it looks like. Once the kids kind of, they calibrate, like, oh, this is it. Like, she's not going to ring a bell and tell me that I have to change my center, even though I just finished and I just now, and then that's why you have behavior problems, right? Because we totally interrupted a fully engaged child to switch. Why? So, and I can unpack that whole scenario another time. But what I'm getting at is that there's a strategy here, and it's very effective. So you spend a couple weeks letting kids like, this is the regular. This is what we do here. And then for those of you who have district mandated curriculum, for those of you in any kind of program where something is a non-compromisable, then it's at that point that you start to introduce that, whether you call them pullouts, whether you call it direct instruction, small group time, whatever you might call it. But the reason why that becomes effective at that stage is because the kids have all acclimated to the rest of the room. You're not having to micromanage this direct one-on-one time and be paying attention to the playing. You don't need to worry about that because the stuff that they're engaged in now on a regular basis isn't a special treat. Your mood hasn't dictated that that's allowed to be out today. So they're flowing. And then when it's their turn to come to the table, you give them some kind of notice, some kind of an indicator, whatever that might be. And that's when you practice being as developmentally inappropriately appropriate as possible. Hey, Mackenzie, I see that you just picked, being over in the dress-up center, just letting you know that you're in the next group that's coming to the table with Miss Lisa. So just giving you a heads up, right? Just giving her heads up. And that becomes then not a power struggle because for the rest of the day, or for most of the rest of the day, Mackenzie is 100% the boss of where she's going to be. And it's not that they're just playing, right? It's not that they're getting away with not learning anything. It's that I now know in my heart that I can translate what is happening to anybody who walks in the door. So when they walk in and they say, "What are you doing?" I can say, "You're wondering what's going on in this classroom." And I can meet that person where they are and not compromise where the kids are every single day in this classroom. I can stay true to both parties. But at the end of the day, I am not going to stop facilitating the play just because somebody walks in isn't familiar with it. I am not going to compromise the experiences of the kids right here with me every single day to keep somebody happy who's never in the building. Breathe. So whether you're in a 3-hour program or whether you're in a 10-hour program, I know that it is possible to be child-centered and play-based if we are willing to do the work and learn the words to talk to the wolves that come to the door, that want to know what's our goal and what's our objective and what's our outcome. And you're saying, I just want you to get out of my room and trust that I can do the job that you hired me to do. So more on that another time, another topic, another day. but let's get this rolling. Instead of overthinking it, instead of making a list and having a schedule of when I'm going to release them, I just figured I'd sit down and start talking to you, and you give me feedback as you always do. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'm Lisa Murphy. You can find me at ooeygooey.com. When in doubt, just Google at Ooey Gooey Lady. That's what I am on Twitter, on Instagram. So there's your shameless plug. You can find me, you can like me on the Ooey Gooey Inc. Facebook page. It has a purple logo butterfly. There's probably someplace on here that I can link that for you. But if you're brand spanking new to me, I'm very accessible. So let me know what you're thinking about, and I'll start chipping away at the list of the themes from being with the Challenging Behavior Online Conference, to which, again, Barb O'Neill, thank you so much for having me on there. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.